was wondering why the steel didn't make any noise.
I heard it one time. I think I hit that rock up there.
Hi, I'm Matt Ferland with DRD Tactical and Otis Technologies. Today I'm with
Greg.
you. All right, that's cool. No, I do DRD Tactical sales for the U.S. and also the Eastern region for Otis Technology. Got a Off the Beaten Path Media hunting show. Been in the outdoor industry about 40 years. I've hunted almost all the states. I think I need like 6 more to go, and most of Canada. And Greg, I know you got a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, my name is Greg. I'm a Leo. I enjoy long walks on the beach. But
Do you now?
But no, honestly, I work on the government side of the business here at Otis. Got into hunting a little bit when I was younger. Kind of got out of it when I went away to school, came back, fell into the passion, with this position. And I've been, playing with the AR-15’s and stuff like that for quite a while. That's kind of my background in this. Let's kick it off a little bit here, Matt. We're talking about the AR-15’s today and the versatility of them, and
Huge.
Yeah. So where do we start? Big platform.
It's probably the most versatile platform out there in any firearm. I mean, you can do so much with it, and getting back to the beginning of it with Stoner's design, and it was really a military design.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it came from, in Vietnam era and M14, M16.
Yep. Replacing that whole platform with something lighter weight, self-cleaning.
Yep.
It was starting with the 5.56 projectile. It was a weaker projectile compared to the 308 and the 30-06.
Yeah, that they were running.
But the ballistics on it, was lighter weight, and the ballistics, the different. Am I saying it right? The awe of the round traveling, and the
The wiggle.
calibration.
It's a duck instead of a spiral.
I like that, the wiggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where that has grown from then, we talk about, changing out calibers or, changing out furniture, all that stuff, and, the advancements made on this platform. It's a tried and true platform. Let's just get into the, the different ammunitions and the different, the upper configurations you can do, and, from shooting at a range with, let's just say a certain caliber,
Yep.
to being able to go all the way up to, whatever's going to fit in that. We have here. This is the 350 Legend.
Basically meant for deer hunters in states in the Midwest that aren't allowed to use a standard rifle cartridge. So Winchester came along and made this 350 Legend. It's a great round. It's a 250-yard round, capable of taking whitetail down, no problem. And it's funny with the transition between what we were talking about with the military stuff, and then all of a sudden, now we're talking commercial and hunting and sport shooting and things like that, where it's hard for a lot of military guns to make that crossover.
I know we have a couple different uppers here.
Why don't we show them what an upper and a lower is, just
Okay.
in case people don't understand. I've never seen how easy these come apart. So this is your lower. This is serialized. This is really the gun, right? This is the part you do the FFL for and everything else. The upper is a tube, and it's that simple. But to change from what were you saying, you were shooting 5.56 and you wanted to go to your 6.8?
You go from like a 450 to a 6.8 or, any of those, depending on where I'm hunting that day.
Yeah, and it's literally just changing that right out, and you've got a completely different firearm. And I always use an analogy of golf clubs, right? I mean, you don't play your whole round of golf with a 7-iron. Some people do. So I like to use a putter. I like to use a driver because the ball starts getting dinged up a little bit, and I want to get rid of it in the woods.
Yeah.
That's why they go there. But you need a different club for different shots.
Correct.
And it's the same thing with these. I mean, you do need a different one. You might put a 20-inch barrel on one if you're going out varminting out in Montana or Wyoming or something, and you're shooting a 223 or some Wildcat cartridge or something you want to do with it. And then, like you said, if you're driving brush up here in the Northeast, that 450 or now the 350 Legend, that's a great choice. It's a heavier bullet. It's going to get through that brush and still hit where you're aiming, which is, what you want. Back to a little bit, that round was not actually meant to kill. It was actually meant to wound. So then the battlefield, two other people had to grab them and pull them off the theater. And so now you got rid of 3 people out of the fight. So it really wasn't made for that. So there are bullets and cartridges now and rounds that are made specific for task.
Well, you know, when this came out too, I mean, this is a 55 grain full metal jacket
Yeah.
projectile. You know, you look at now with the difference in the advancements of
75
big
grain
word
or-
for you, like metallurgy.
Yeah.
You know, going from, you know, ballistic tip projectiles to, you know, different projectiles that hold together or expand.
Weight retention.
So now, I mean, your smaller, you know, cartridges, you can pack a lot more punch with them.
Yep. I mean, we could talk about some furniture and what people do with them also. I mean, everybody's a AR builder, right? Because they can do so many different things with it. And aside from cutting an upper or lower at a billet and a CNC machine, you're doing everything else. You can buy the parts and do it. It's not rocket science by any means.
Well, let's just talk about like the simplicity. So let's say you want to change your, you know, your forward rail on, you know, one of our DRD rifles.
Sure.
You know, pop it off, pop it
Yeah.
on. So different designs, different materials, that kind of thing. It's an easy, real quick, one-step process. You know, with your traditional ones, you know, you might have to remove your, you know, your castle nut and things like
Right.
that to change stuff out. You know, each manufacturer has a little different way of doing it. Some are the same.
Ours is the coolest. Though.
Ours is the coolest.
Yeah, I mean, come on, let's be real.
But, you know, we talk about, you know, versatility. You know, I remember the first time that I carried an AR-15 style firearm into the woods hunting, and what I remember most of that trip was how cold it was in my hands.
Yeah.
This aluminum in the middle of November is the coldest thing known to man.
Is that why you want to stay in my sleeping bag? I wanted to get that clear.
But the first time I came home, though, it was, you know, okay, what can I do to make this thing either lighter weight, you know, warmer to the touch? So, you know,
Wrap it in tape. Do
wrap it in
whatever.
tape, pop it off, use,
Yep.
you know, a carbon fiber or a plastic or some other material.
There's so many options for it.
There are.
You can do with it.
And customize it to the way you want it.
Yeah.
We talk about that, and, you know, you look at your controls on whether it be a Remington 700 or a Ruger American or any of these, you know, safeties are different.
Yep.
You know,
Back of the bolt, or you got it down by your trigger guard. or,
removing
you
your
know.
magazines
Yep.
or however it is. I mean, on this one, you know, your selector is always on the side, you know, between safe and fire, if you're lucky enough to have a select fire. But your mag release, all of those things are right there. So regardless of the caliber you're pursuing that day or the animal you're pursuing, you're familiar with the firearm.
Yeah, the gun functions the same way.
Yeah.
It's just the round, making sure you have the right cartridge with the right barrel.
Correct.
And then knowing your ballistics.
Yep.
You know, that drop on the 350 at 250 yards is way different than that 223.
Correct.
So you can't have that in your mind that, you know, well, this is my AR and I can only shoot 250 yards with it. Well, I can shoot a lot longer at Prairie Dog with a 223.
Yep.
So just knowing your ballistics is, and there's nothing wrong with putting a cheater on your stock or something that says, you know, here's my drop out to 500 with 223. Here's my 300 blackout out to 200. What, you know, what are your ranges? I know there's companies out there now that the scope talks Bluetooth to your rangefinder and they move the dot and everything. It's wicked cool, but there's nothing wrong with a piece of tape and writing it down and going old school with it and just knowing your gun and doing that. We talk about using a lot of different firearms, whether you're bolts or whatnot like that, and it's cool to bring a platform to camp and you've got 3 barrels with you.
Correct.
And you can run 3 different guns effectively.
Yep. You know, I was brought up, you know, we talking about versatility and stuff. I was brought up with like a 3 to 9 optic. And I remember, you know, driving or being on watch for a drive. And, you know, a deer's coming through the woods at 100 miles an hour. And you're trying to pull that 3 to 9 up and you're at 6 power and you can't catch the hair on, you know. And then the first time I switched out to an AR, I think I was running an Aimpoint T1 Micro, I guess it was.
Yep.
And
Just a red dot.
it was easy. It was almost too easy.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like cheating.
It's very quick, and you know you're used to shooting at targets and things like that, and you're used to target acquisition, that kind of thing. And to pull up on a deer running, it was no longer.
Yeah,
it was
it
just a
wasn't-
game.
it's not hard.
It was not hard.
Yep. Yeah.
And,
you might worry about your lead a little bit. But
Yeah,
That's it.
But
I
it
mean,
makes it. But that's why they give you 5 more rounds. 4 more.
true.
Excuse me.
4, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier, and it makes hunting. It makes it fun. I say that.
Yeah. The other part that's cool with that is you can just pop an optic off of these.
Correct.
And put a different scope on there, and as long as you know your marks on the rail,
Correct.
You're right back in the game again.
back.
So you can have that same gun again going from, you know, short range, close quarter combat.
Yep.
These pistols are great for that. If you're a law enforcement guy and you want to go and clear a room, it's really important to be tight and your workspace is in tight and you're going around corners. Now you step out into a long hallway, pop your stock out and you got it like that, and you have a stable platform to shoot off again.
Yep.
So that even built-in versatility is
Correct.
huge with these.
Yep.
I don't know, the scare factor with it. A lot of people in the media, and we hear every day, right? They're going to ban this, they're going to do that, and it's always unfounded. A lot of it.
That is.
If you really look at the facts involved, and that 223 round right there is not even close to the power of a 30-06 or a 308.
Yep.
And we talk about this as the evil cartridge of 5.56. It's a tool.
Correct.
It's a shovel. It's a golf club. It's any tool that you use is what it is. It's a tool.
Well, you talk about the bad rap that these firearms have had. The first time getting to camp with one, and now when I go up, a lot of the older generation are carrying these because of the versatility.
Yeah.
They build a platform. They build it themselves. It fits them right. Length of pull to the optic they want, cheek rise, anything they want to do to that firearm works. When I had that old 270 I talked about earlier, here's your gun.
Yeah.
It was way too long. It had a steel butt plate on the end, and I'm trying to hold it, with everything I have. I had to get used to shooting that thing. It was not comfortable. I did not.
So you
care
conform
for
to the
it.
firearm instead of making it fit.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And then when I got into this, platform, then I started building firearms to fit me.
Yep.
Changing out furniture to fit me, optics to fit me, calibers for what I wanted to do that day. Set up my lower completely with my sling, attachments, whatever like that, and swap out uppers, and everything was the same. So
We were talking about the cartridges and what calibers and whatnot, and I mean, we could run through from 17.
Yep.
You could do 22 conversion we talked about. As long as your ejection port is big enough to handle the spent casing coming out, and
Correct.
you can pretty much AR-15 go up to.
And what we're talking
6.8.
about here is, you look at these these cartridges here. We have a 300 blackout, a 5.56, 223, and a 350 Legend, and there's many more in this size. But we're looking at the height of these cartridges, the size of this mag well, and that's kind of how they're building these. You'll see that there's different diameters here on the cartridge itself, but we're just looking to fit inside of this mag well. So you can go anywhere from, let's say a 17H or a 22 long rifle up to a 50 Beowulf. Your cartridge length, your overall length, your ogive length is all going to be the same. It's just going to be different thicknesses of cartridges, different powders, that kind of stuff. So there's a million different calibers to fit any type of shooting you're doing, whether it be
Varmint shooting.
target shooting
shooting.
target shooting to
Small, medium, large game.
and that's the versatility. The easy stuff. Let's just say removing or changing out your handguard,
Handguard grips.
your grips.
So like this is a Magpul grip. It's plastic, molded. It does have texturing. It's kind of stippling on there.
Yeah.
It feels okay. On the Aptus, I went with an ergo grip. It's got a little more rubber. And like I said, I was using this for hunting and whatnot. And when it's wet and everything else, it still stays on your hand pretty good. And that's just a quick one bolt. It's a super easy
It's
change to do to it.
inexpensive. Yep.
Same with your selectors or your safety selector, your mag releases. You can customize these any way, any color. You do whatever you want, pretty much. It's endless. I mean, the bolt catch release on this is ambidextrous.
Even look at the different stocks on the back of these. Here.
A pistol brace versus a stock. This does have some different things it can do. So it's legitimately a pistol brace. It holds on your arm. It can telescope. It can fold. There's some different things that this stock can do, or brace can do.
Brace.
Almost broke NFA.
Rule number
Yeah, whoa, what a trip. But, this is a stock, standard stock, and it telescopes and does the same thing. So on a standard AR, I guess I'll just talk about that folding feature real quick. Standard AR has a buffer tube. This pushes your bolt carrier group back forward, so it has to have that. With our Aptuses, it's an internal guide rod system, so we can fold our stock and not have that. So there's a little bit different, even within the AR platform, of different styles. And I know some guys are making some hinged ones here, but they can't fire if they're folded.
Yep.
That does fire when it's folded, but it's just a different take on it. Of course, ours is better, but I'm who's saying. Yeah. No, there's a lot of great designs out there. So grips, stocks are a big change. And then sights themselves. Do you want pop-up iron sights? Do you want just to run a flat top with a scope? I mean, that's all personal preference too.
Yep.
Like you said, you like the red dot for way you're hunting, and you know, if I'm going to a shoot somewhere and I need to extend range, then I'm probably going to use a regular scope.
Correct. Yep.
You know, 4 to 20 or whatever it is. So that's just personal preference on there.
Yeah, I run a 1 to 4 on my 6.8, and then I typically run either an ACOG or a straight, you know, red dot on my 300 blackout.
Yeah. The nice thing with the red dots is you can have both eyes open and run them.
Yep.
So the reason that's important is a lot of hunting situations is lower light.
Yep.
So if you open up both eyes, you're letting in twice as much light as one eye.
I'm not a math guy.
It's hard,
Okay.
but I'm thinking that it's 2 and then divide and then carry over. So it's about twice as much light that you're letting in there. And you can see more things going on out the side. So
We talk about
you're not
driving corners and things like that, and people, and
you got to be careful. I mean, you're looking to make sure, number one, always when you're going to pull up when that situation is there anybody in my line of sight, you know, and that's a no shoot, obviously. But those things are important. Or, and we've all done this too. Here's a nice big slick head standing there, and you're like, we're going to fill the freezer, and you look like this, and then all of a sudden you realize Big Mo just took a step out and ran that way, and you didn't even get, you know, so having both eyes open is important because, let's face it, you need those horns to stir the soup with. Or
I like to say one on the game warden, one on the animal.
Yeah. What'd you hear?
I mean, I think we cover on a lot of it. Versatility with, you know, cartridge size for the animal, you know, furniture to make it fit you, easy of swapping out, you know, the actual uppers for a hunting position, you know, different optics, eye relief, you know, there's a lot of different things like that.
Even lighting them up. I mean, going to Kevlar barrels.
Yeah.
Carbon fiber barrel versus regular steel barrel. I mean, it lightens. So you can make these just do whatever you need it to do.
Yep.
So I think we touched base on pretty much everything, how versatile they are and what you can do with them.
What do you say we take them over to the range and try them?
I like that idea a lot.
All right, let's do this.
All right, Greg, we got a CDR 15 here.
I can't hear you.
What?
Okay, here we go.
What happened? So we got the CDR 15 from DRD Tactical, fully taken down. I'm gonna assemble it real quick.
All right.
Give you the go. We'll see what we can do on a plate, how accurate it is when you put it, reassemble it.
So if I miss the steel, you're saying it was you putting it together?
I'm saying it's operator error.
Okay.
So we'll throw the barrel on this real quick.
That's not even hot.
No.
That's okay if you cross-thread that?
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, if I miss, it's my mechanic here.
Now, do you want the bear hug technique or no?
I'm going to go without the bear hug technique
All right,
now.
going hot?
I'm going hot. I'd say it's accurate.
That's not too bad, buddy.
Not for me, it's not.
All right.
I can live with that.
Clear and empty?
Clear and empty.
Nice.
We're good.
So, I don't know, for me, I like that. It feels quicker than a standard AR. I know it's the same operating, but they just feel light and quick like that. And with the takedown, I mean, you saw, what is that, 30 seconds to put it together?
From tearing it down to putting it back together,
And
being able to get right back on target, it is nice.
MOA on it, I mean, one MOA, it's right there.
It is.
So,
It's a nice shooting rifle, that's for sure.
yeah.
I just wish we had more ammo.
Yeah, me too. Cool.
All right, let's get back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things we didn't touch on, and this is kind of just meant to give people some thoughts in their head on what they can do with ARs and how versatile they are. And
Yeah, I mean, if any of our listeners have any, you know, specific questions on versatility or, you know, any comments, anything on this, you know, please reach out. We'll try to hit on those in the future. Hit like below and follow other videos.
if you don't have one, order one, and if you have one, you should have more.
That's easy.
Good as gets.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.